Hey guys, this is Mary from Sophisticakes by Mary. For this tutorial, I'm going to show you how I made this 3-tier wedding cake. This cake features gold, everywhere gold. We've got some textured gold on the middle tier, some gold leaf on the bottom tier, and some painted gold on the top tier. First, we're going to get our cakes ready, and I'm starting off with some already pre-filled and crumb-coated cakes. This was a 6-inch, an 8-inch, and a 10-inch 3-tiered cake. And then I'm using, this buttercream was a mixture of navy and royal blue, I believe is what we used on this. We wanted a deeper royal, so I added some navy to it also. And I'm just making sure that we get it nice and smooth. I like to use this tall scraper to kind of help me get the sides level first, and then I go back with my smaller plastic scraper to just make sure we get everything nice and finished off. And then we're going to pull that upper lip into the middle. Now I'm going to show you, you can use a mixture of mediums to do this. I have the gold sequins, I've got some multicolored sequins, and then I also have some sugar crystals. We're going to mix all these textures together. This is kind of based off of the idea of what we were doing a lot a few years ago, where we were doing the gold sequins, but we're going to do multi-textured. And nothing has to be the same color because it's all going to be painted in the end. But we need to go ahead and put a good coating of buttercream on the cake and get it as level as you can, but remember that you're going to have a texture on the outside. And go ahead and put it on a cookie sheet, something bigger than the cake, because that's going to catch your sequins and your crystals that will inevitably drop off of the cake. And I just used my hand to go ahead and scoop them up there. And I know it's not real pretty red at this moment, and I know it, but that's okay. Hold tight. We'll tie it all together with the airbrush. And make sure you get some on the top as well, and kind of just push it together on that upper corner so you get kind of a sharp edge. And remove the excess as neatly as you can. I'm not going to lie, you're going to get this all over the place. There's no way to do it where you don't. But at least if you have that tray underneath, you can kind of get it back into a container a little bit more cleanly than if it were to be bouncing all over your table and the floor, because that will happen if you don't have something underneath it. And then go ahead and buttercream your top tier. You can do this. This whole cake can be done in any color combination you want. But since this was for an actual wedding, they of course have a color scheme going on here. And then I'm just using an airbrush. This has only been used with edible food coloring. This is a mixture of gold luster dust and Everclear, which you can see behind the cake there. I am not drinking that, I promise. We hear that every time somebody walks in the bakery and we have our Everclear on the table. No, we are not drinking on the job. This just makes an edible paint for us, that if you really thin down the luster dust, it will go through your airbrush. It will want to get stuck. You just have to make sure that you're cleaning it out regularly and making sure that it's not getting plugged up in the nozzle. And sometimes what you have to do is put your finger on the tip there and push down on the lever, and that creates a air suction kind of thing, which cleans out the tip. And this airbrush, honestly, since it's sped up, you have no idea how long it took me to do this. It's not the most powerful airbrush. My airbrush at home, well, the one that I brought to the bakery, I actually took home because I was doing an actual painting, and I needed to use airbrush for my alcohol ink painting, and I hadn't brought it back to the bakery at this point. I didn't use it, let me clarify, I didn't put acrylic paint in the airbrush, I just used it for the air flow. So don't worry, still food safe. And we put our tiers into the refrigerator to chill. So this tier had been in the refrigerator for a good 30 to 40 minutes. I cut my support straws, well, they're harder plastic dowels, to the same height, and put some buttercream on there. And since this tier had been in the refrigerator chilling for a while, it holds together while you remove it from your board. And I stuck that skewer in there to help me, since it's kind of harder to transport the sequins sequin tiers. I use that to kind of help me support it while I lifted it onto the cake. And go ahead and remove it, and then I put my straws that are cut to the same height again into that tier. And then some more buttercream, and then we place our top tier. You don't see that, but on the top tier I had kind of cleared out the sequins that were in the middle where the top tier is going to rest, because it's a little harder to get a level cake when you have obstructions underneath the tier. So I had scraped those away just where the cake was going to go. And then now I am just going in and touching up any places where I had missed with the airbrush, or that I had accidentally touched when I transported it onto the bottom tier. Also, when you're airbrushing, make sure that you are changing the direction of the airflow so that you get underneath all the nooks and crannies from all that texture. I'm just using the same paint and a fan brush to kind of start brushing from the bottom up. We want some wispy ends, so sometimes I turn it on its side to get some kind of longer wispy pieces. This needs to be irregular for the design they wanted. So yeah, don't try to make it too neat and tidy. Just make sure that you are putting less pressure, you're releasing your pressure as you're pulling up on the brush, as you're going up. More pressure at the bottom and kind of pulling away from the cake as you go up. I did do 2 coats of this paint. You don't have to. I just kind of like, especially the bottom, to be more concentrated and kind of ombre'd up. I don't know if ombre is the word I'm looking for, but you get what I'm saying, right? A little bit more concentration of the gold towards the bottom, and then just kind of, well, ombre, that's the word I go back to. I know it's not ombre, but you know what I mean. I think faded is more the word I'm looking for. Now we're going to add our gold leaf on the bottom. Now this time I used Barnabas Gold, and I do have an affiliate link that you can use to purchase your own, and I will attach that in the video description, and maybe I will put a little tag on the video as well. And I'm just using a smaller fluffy brush. It has the bristles are a little bit firmer than the bigger brush because they're shorter, and I'm just attaching it with that. I'm just kind of using the brush to brush it off of the paper that it comes on, and just kind of stippling it onto the cake. I didn't want any big, the real big chunks, more of a more subtle effect, but covering a larger area. And wrap around the top also, because it just kind of ties it all together. It's not necessary, but I think it helped. And this is the end look, guys. My boss again delivered it and put the floral on, and isn't that display amazingly beautiful? I think that is so pretty. I wish I had a bigger picture closer up to show you, but it is what it is, and I hope you liked it. So thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch my video, and if you'd like to watch some other videos, go ahead and click on the link to one of these other videos shown here. And if you would like to check out my other social media, I am on Facebook and Instagram under the same name, Sophisticakes by Mary. And please take the time to share, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you know when I upload another video. Thank you so much, and we'll catch you on the next tutorial.